going to sell me. Sell me. Because I'm going to buy something from somebody here live in this room today. If you have something to sell, we're going to review it. Welcome in today. This is day 66 of the income stream. And I'm very thankful because this is a very special day. We are reviewing sales pages, websites, web pages on the internet that tried to convince and convert somebody into a sale. And I'm going to be reviewing these pages from the mindset of an educator, somebody who has created sales pages before, who has sold over $5 million of online product online and is here to help other people too. So welcome in today. I don't know if it's the Shark Tank or what, but I'm just feeling the vibe today. I hope you're feeling the vibe too. And I'm going to give you a structure and sort of what I'm looking for so we can educate ourselves first. Then I'm going to share with you some examples of really good sales pages and why I like them and how they fit that same structure. And then finally, we're going to go over several different web pages, sales pages from you here in the room if you'd like to be a volunteer. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you. And then at the end, I'm going to select somebody and I'm actually going to follow through and actually buy that thing, even if it's not something I actually need. Because you know what? A good salesman can sell ice to an Eskimo, or at least I once heard that. Anyway, welcome to the income stream. Let's have some fun today.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
What's up, everybody? I thought it was just weird to wear a tie and suit this whole time, but I wanted to set the tone for y'all. And make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. If you're watching the replay, I do a live show every single morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Here's a link to remember every single morning. Yes, every single morning, 7 days a week. This is day 66, and I'm here to serve you as somebody who's been in business for 12 years, who has been laid off since 2008, and who's learned a ton and has made a ton of mistakes. And I'm here to push those things forward to you so you don't make the same mistakes and you can fast forward your success too. And today we're talking about sales pages, which is really cool. I'm stoked about sales pages because sales pages are really key. This is the moment when a person sees your stuff where they determine whether or not they want to continue to go down this path with you and potentially pull out that wallet, glitch in the matrix, sorry. When they pull out that wallet and type in that stuff to have you get paid and have them get delivered, whatever it is that you're offering. Now, it doesn't matter what it is you're selling. We always have to do a job of letting people know why they need to follow through and purchase. So let's go over really quickly here. First of all, I lost my pen. Where's my pen, my Apple pen, because I'm going to be going into the screen today. What's up, y'all? And we're going to be doing some education before we get started. But also, number one, again, thank you for being here today. We're going to have a lot of fun. And number two, let's say hello to the people in the room today. What's up? Hey, Archer, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, my friend. I appreciate that. Janelle says he's tricky. Yes. Wow. I hope I get picked. We will see. Those sleeves, though. Yeah. I had to get it all ready so that it would be easy to take off in 10 seconds, but we'll see what happens. Pat, show your thumbs. What's up? Thumbs. Yes. Nintendo thumbs. That's what I like to call them. They're weird, y'all. They're weird. But you know what? Embrace your weird. That's part of the strategy here because that's what makes you unique. Jonathan says, puts together sales page for $5 million course. Well, do it. We'll see what happens. Bruh, what's up, Chris? Good to see you. Thanks for the bruh.
Bruh.
Appreciate that. Is being laid off and retrenched the same thing? I don't know necessarily the definitions of retrenched, but getting laid off, being let go. Furloughed, you kind of keep your job for now, but you don't know when you're coming back and you don't get paid. Craft Room Time says, we really need this right now. Thank you, Pat. You're awesome for bringing us so much value. Appreciate you, Kevin. We're just trying to have some fun, y'all. And when you can have fun and when you can learn at the same time, great things happen, right? So let's have some fun together. So I'll welcome a few more people in. What's up, at Reef? Great to see you here today. Steve A, Rafal, hashtag bruh. More bruhs in the house.
Bruh.
Love that. Let's go, says Andrew. Hello, how are you? Awesome. And for those of you watching the replay, if you wanted to come in and see when these reviews actually started or when the education starts, I'll put some timestamps down below for you as well. And that'll be later. For those of you watching live, obviously I can't do that because I have not had my time machine fulfilled yet. I placed the order, but it hasn't come in yet. Okay, so let's talk about this. So number one, what we really need to start out with and what I'm looking for is a headline, right? All great sales pages must have a headline, but not just any headline, right? Let's talk about the headline really quick. This is the number one thing that people will read. And essentially, we want it to say, you. I'm talking to you. Does it speak to what I need, what my pain is? And again, for these reviews, I may not have that pain that this person is speaking about when I review these sales pages, but I want to know how well of a job this person's doing to capture my attention, to get me to go, okay, I understand. Yeah, okay, that's me. Hold on a sec while I sneeze. God. Come on. That's a bummer. Not a great way to start, but it's okay. So the headline, really key, just the one sentence that gets me to go, oh, okay. Just like how the subject line for an email, the whole purpose of that is to get people to click so they can read the email. The whole purpose of a title on YouTube or a title of a blog post to get people to click to read through. What's up, Sue? Thank you so much for this. I appreciate this. My thumbnail is right on topic. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. It looked a little weird. I had to take an image that I had, flip it, warp it a little bit, color it, brightness, contrast to match Mr. Wonderful there from the Shark Tank, if you didn't know who that was. And that'll be fun. So anyway, the headline, the one sentence that helps me go, all right, I'm listening, right? Hey, I'm talking to you. That's what we want. Okay, number 2, what I'm looking for is an introduction. How are you going to keep me reading down the page, laying out the problem, using the same language that I would hopefully imagine that people who are in that space or who have that issue will respond to? This shows that you know where they're at, and this shows you know what their worries are. And if you can lay that out, just defining the problem, helping them understand you know where they're at, they're going to be more likely to continue reading and follow through. As I always say, Jay Abraham, a very famous old school marketer, once said, if you can define the problem better than the target customer, they will automatically assume you have the solution. Now, there's a lot of frameworks out there for sales pages that we have seen. There's a man named Ray Edwards, who I'm a big fan of, rayedwards.com. There's also Prerna Malik from Content Bistro. She teaches and she does a lot of my copy as well, and on sales pages specifically. In fact, she was featured on the podcast not too long ago talking about some other components of sales pages, which we will be looking for as well, such as proof, such as testimonials and guarantees. Those kinds of things are really key. But a little bit more about Ray Edwards, because his structure does something that's very unique, and that's the PASTOR model, PASTOR. And the P stands for the problem, like what we're talking about right now, and he adds in something else here called the A, or the amplification of the problem. Essentially, the consequences if we don't fix this right now. We need to give people a reason to purchase right now. And if it's not done with a limited time discount or a limited offering or some sort of clock that sort of expires where bonuses go away or something like that, then we hopefully have to, through the words on the page, help a person go, okay, now's the time to make the decision. And the amplification of the problem can go a long way in doing that. So that's in the introduction. We'll talk about the problem, laying out the problem, more connection there. Hopefully that's a good point to almost begin to start telling your story. So story, your story, even a connection to you can go a very long way, and amplification of the problem. Now, not all pages do all these things. This is just best practices. And there are great sales pages that have made tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars without using all of these components. I'm just simply giving you a lot of the sort of rundown here. Number 3, we want to go to the offer. So we haven't even really mentioned any bit about what's inside our product yet, right? We have the headline, which might mention and should mention the name of the course, for example, or the name of the program, or et cetera. What's up, @Reef? Thank you so much for the super chat. That's like literally right on my face right now. We'll just keep it up there for a minute. But the offer is where we go, introducing Powerup Podcasting. And then you tell them exactly what this is. It's an online course that will step by step help you not just launch a podcast, but help you get listeners on day 1 and into the future, or whatever the offering might be. So where you've laid out exactly what you need to do to solve the problem. So here's the problem. Hey, and now let me introduce the solution to you, right? Solution. That's like introducing. You don't have to say those words. It could be like, that's why I created this program or this curriculum to help you XYZ. Okay, number 4, price. I'm going to be interested in price. Now, we're not going to go into pricing heavily today. That could be its own topic in the future, of course. Pricing is interesting. I want to see, and again, I don't necessarily have the problems of the web pages that we're going to be looking at today, so I may not know whether or not there's value there, but the big issue here is we need to make sure that it's very clear that people know what the price is and they know what's coming in exchange for that, right? The investment into their future now with a clear return, right? Investment into the future. That's how I like to think about this. It's an investment with a return. With a return. Cool. All right, how we doing? I'm going to build this live now and launch a page by the end of the stream. Okay, I challenge you to a duel. Let's see, but mobility is nice too. Normally, thanks, so cool. Superface chat, LOL, great. I like that. Karma cash flow, great. Love that you guys are chatting. This is great. My long one for my big program feels so long. Hoping Pat will review. I love your opinion too. Let's talk about length in just a minute here, but let me finish going through these 5 things. I want proof. That could be testimonials. That could be case studies. That could even be proof in numbers. Proof that might set up the offer. Like, did you know that podcasting is still the least populated platform when it comes to content creation? However, people spend more time on this platform than anybody. Studies show that people are subscribed to 7 different podcasts, and over 52% of the population is actually listening to podcasts. If you are not convinced to start a podcast today, well, I'm sorry, I can't help you, right? So even if you don't necessarily have proof, you can share case studies that support your argument and your solution. Now, the ideal thing is to have testimonials. Video testimonials are great, written testimonials, ones that feel real, and ones that aren't just, Pat Flynn was awesome, I loved his course, it helped me start a podcast, yay, right? Yay. That's not gonna be as strong as, I was really worried about starting my podcast and I was scared about the technology, but Pat Flynn was able to walk me through step by step and made it so simple that I think anybody can do this, right? Those testimonials are better than anything, right? So proof sells because people, guys, people default to doubt. They doubt that this thing is not going to work, especially with how much we're crafting the words on the page to seem like they are perfect, right? If they're this, yes, okay, here's a solution. Really? How can you show proof that this thing actually works? So we need to show proof in some way, shape, or form, right? Testimonials, people who have taken your course or who have worked with you or have gotten access to your program, the more clear and more tangible the results that those people have gotten, the more likely a person's going to go, whoa, that person's just like me, or okay, like other people are getting results, like I want these results too, right? What do we have? John Lee Dumas in the house? What's up, JLD, my friend? Welcome in, my friend. JLD, host of Entrepreneurs on Fire, entrepreneursonfire.com. And John is very, very proficient in sales pages as well. And it's funny that the live stream about selling John is on because John is a primo example of somebody who's doing it right and who has studied this and is educated about it. So I'm thankful you're here, buddy. You don't have to stick around the whole time, but should you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to share? I'm sure everybody will be stoked on that. I think some people saw John comment and they were like, whoa, did the sound come through that time? There we go. Whoa, John Lee Dumas is here. Love it. Thanks, man. Appreciate this. And number 6, we need a CTA. Everybody in the room, tell me what CTA stands for. Also, I'm hooking you up here because the more you leave comments, the more likely it is you are to win. And not just win me like buying your thing because we haven't even figured out whose sales pages we're doing yet. But we do have a sponsor today. Today's sponsor is Buzzsprout.com. That is a service and a software and a tool that allows you to best publish your podcast online, makes it simple to get it out on all the places. And in fact, when you upload your audio there, they have magic fairy dust that like overlays on your podcast to allow it to sound the best. So in fact, they magically mix your podcast after you upload it to normalize everything. All the high levels come down, all the low levels come up, and it just sounds right. And I've been working with them for years, since 2014 when, 2015. I moved from SoundCloud to Buzzsprout, and it's just been an amazing experience for Ask Pat. And if you go through my affiliate link, which is smartpassiveincome.com/buzzsprout, you'll get 33% more time added to your plan, which is really great at no extra cost to you. So smartpassiveincome.com/buzzsprout. In addition to me purchasing something of somebody's today here, I'm also going to be giving away a microphone, a Samson Q2U USB microphone. Love this microphone, and it'll be given away to somebody at random who comments, which is why I'm offering that there to you now. Bruh Sprout. John, he comes in, he goes, I listen to SPI. Love it, man. Love it. Okay, so call to action. Thank you. CTA. Call to action. I want to see how often you're asking me. There is a line, of course, but it should be multiple times throughout the page, especially for longer sales pages. And like I said, we'll talk about the length of sales pages in just a minute. But you need to literally tell people, hey, here's what you do now. Click on the link below, click on the button, get into the course, enroll. I want to see the language. I want to learn how you help me understand how this is going to be feeling comfortable for me. I also want to see if you have a guarantee and how you make me feel. I'm going to finish the sentence. It's not how you make me feel. Well, I will be looking at how you make me feel, but how you make me feel good and confident and secure with my purchase. All right. So this is your moment to take a screenshot, if you will, if you wanted to. That's it right there. Headline, introduction, offer, price, proof, call to action, right? Cool. April says, JLD, check it out. Many of us are here every single day. Tons of value here. All right, cool. And this is why we're here, right? This is why we're here. Craft Room Time says, I know my sales page is not good. I need to work on it, which is good. You're in the right room. So awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. So here are some examples of really great sales pages. I wanted to share these, and I'm going to tell you how and where a lot of these things that we talked about here are incorporated. So that's the education piece. You guys excited? We're going to get into the sort of good examples. And again, mind you, these are sales pages that I've come across that have just stood out to me. Some of them are, online business related, not all of them, but the principles remain true all the way throughout. In fact, a lot of this remains true even on Amazon. If you happen to be selling something on Amazon, even a physical product, it's important to talk about how you structure your sales page there too, whether it's for a book or a physical product that you might be selling on Amazon. It's not quite as structured. However, you can still bring in components of this, from proof to things like that. The other thing that we didn't even mention here that is very important, but it's actually the least important thing, is just what's inside. It's important for people to know what's inside, and that's sort of like here. So in the offer section, which is why I didn't mention it, but introducing and talking a little bit more about the program or the course or whatever it is that you're offering, because people want to know what they're going to get before they get it, right? However, of course, if you spend a lot of time building trust and getting people to know, like, and trust you, you could just sell nothing and you would still make money. In fact, when I sold FlynnCon for 2019, I did not tell anybody what was going to be involved in FlynnCon. It was a 2.5-day event, and there were going to be some special guests, and literally no curriculum, nothing. We still sold 450 tickets to that, which is really cool. So when you build fans and you build people, you build people up, that would work. But if I were to sell, cold, if I were to do cold ads to that, it wouldn't work, right? So best case scenario, you have a lot of these things. So let's go into some primo examples here. And this is one that I used yesterday. This is Benny Lewis's page for Fluent in 3 months. Now, there is a video here as well, and you'll see that this page is quite long, but not super long. But long sales pages work because here's what you have to understand. People don't read every single word on a sales page. In fact, that's very unusual. They look for the parts and the pieces that they are most interested in. So for example, you might come down here and look more about, okay, I want to know who's teaching this. Okay, well, here's Benny Lewis, and this is a great place, and this is part of the introduction as well. A little bit of his qualifications and such, and testimonials there too, and just some more. I mean, this is a beautifully designed sales page. Now, if you don't have design experience, that's okay. In fact, my very first sales page was for an ebook that I sold in the architecture space, and I literally copy and pasted Mad Lib style somebody else's sales page, and it was essentially one that was offered for free. It was in a book called Moonlighting on the Internet by Yannick Silver. And there was literally in the back of the book a sales page where you can just insert your product, and there was no images, there was nothing. It was like bare bones minimum. But because I nailed the language, I was able to help sell more of that product. But anyway, let's go back in here. Check out what it is that's being offered here. It cannot be more clear than this. Have a 15-minute conversation in a new language after 90 days, guaranteed, or I'll give you your money back. So essentially, he puts his guarantee there as part of the offer. But through fluent in 3 months, the challenge is the program. What does this give you? This is the tagline. Have a 15-minute conversation in a new language after 90 days. Like, you can't get more clear than that in terms of what it is people are buying. On sales pages, often things are confusing in terms of like, well, what am I getting here exactly? Sure, I see it's an online course, or sure, I see it's an 8-week program, but what am I paying for? What is the end result of this? I want to look for, when I do these sales page reviews, can I clearly understand what the end result is? What is the transformation that's being offered here? On Powerup Podcasting, for example, I'll show you my sales page for that in a second. But it's like, okay, you get into this and you get a podcast with listeners that's up on all the platforms, and I make it easy for you to do. You can't get more clear than that. Versus, let me help you start a podcast. Okay, but what does that mean? Am I just like structuring it? Am I putting it out there? How am I going to get listeners? All those other things, right? I've seen sales pages for like meditation courses. Okay, meditation, great. I understand what I'm going to be doing, but what's the end goal? Am I going to be happier? I'm going to have less stress. I'm going to be more productive during the day. When you can get clear with the tangible outcomes, it'll be clear for a person whether or not it is for them or not. And that's the important thing. We want to help people get to a decision-making point. Wherever there is still confusion left, there's an opportunity for people to talk themselves out of something. So have a 15-minute conversation in a new language. And then here is where he does something very, very smart. Right up front, he goes into the objections. And I want to see objections on these pages too. This is all throughout the sales page. It's not necessarily a part of the sales page, but throughout the objections. This system works even if you have no time. So this is where people go, oh, well, I can't learn a language because I have no time. No, this will work for you if you have time. I'm a little bit nervous about having conversations with real people. No. This will help you, even if you feel nervous about having real conversations with native speakers. All the struggles are here, and then following the system, this will learn, right? So this is a really good example of a sales page. Let's also look for the proof that this works. I want to read these testimonials, and let's see. So like this testimonial is not so great in my opinion. It's more general, right? I took another leap of faith, signed up to travel abroad next summer. So big thanks to the challenge and all the participants. You helped me see that I can do it. So that's not as clear as, let's see. Here's one that's more clear. I had never had a conversation in Spanish before this challenge, as I never thought I was ready. Doing this challenge and having the support and encouragement of everyone pushed me to do the thing I was too scared to do. So very specific with a language and whatnot, and I love that she sort of overcame her fears, right? Let's see, I want to look for anything better. Here we go. When I started, I could fit probably everything I knew into less than 30 seconds. And at the end of the 90 days, I went past my 15-minute goal. I had a 30-minute conversation after 90 days. So not only did she get the 15 minutes that were guaranteed, she went 30 minutes. So this is why this testimonial is up front, because it's definitely the strongest, right? Languages are an invitation into a whole new world. So here's the part where it's like, hey, this is for you if, right? This is how we connect. And this is Benny's style for sure. Like, hey, this is all about not just learning languages. This is about the freedom to travel anywhere, the confidence to start a conversation with anyone, the adventure of speaking to people in their own language. Learning a new language stimulates your brain, allows you to experience other cultures from the inside, and it gives you confidence to start conversations with people you'd otherwise never met. Do you want to? So this is like painting a picture of the future, right? This is really important. You want to play DeLorean in this scenario. Put a person in a DeLorean, travel after the course, and go, here's what life is like afterwards, right? This is part of the situation. And as you can see, he says, do you want to have real, comfortable conversations in a new language, live and work overseas, open your mind to different cultures, make new friends from other countries, travel the world, develop deeper connections, talk to new people, and create amazing connections? Cool. Then join me inside. So in addition to that, I can click here to join. I scroll down. I click here to join if I need to. I get convinced a little bit more. I start to learn about who Benny is a little bit more. And then probably at the bottom here, I would probably insert one somewhere in here. Here we go. Have another one. Keep going down. FAQ, really important to have, right? So let's look at his FAQ. How do I How to keep coming back to learning language learners dynamite, the road trip mindset. So he has like these names for these FAQ. Oh, this is the modules, I'm sorry. So this is where we're getting an inside look at his course. I believe there is an FAQ down here too. Hack number. So this is very long. It gets a little bit more into the system for the more logical people who go, okay, well, how does this actually work? How do you do this? It seems unreal that you're able to do this in 90 days. Okay. And it looks like his course is actually closed right now, which is really interesting. So if I were to scroll up to the top and click on something, it would probably take me to the bottom to get onto the wait list. And I think he opens and closes his stuff every once in a while. Okay, so let's get to Nicole Walter, right? So this is a course that I believe is hosted on Teachable, and it's just business education, level up business education. And what I love about her is here, this introduction. This is the, hey, I'm talking to you. This isn't the introduction to her course yet, but this is like who she is and how this will help, right? So you have a business idea, but you don't know what to do first. You feel like you're all over the place, or you may be wondering if entrepreneurship is the right path for you. So she's getting into your head now, right? And if you are reading this and you're like, yep, that's me, you're more interested, you're gonna keep reading, right? So this is one of our courses, Fierce Clarity. Or you may be wondering if entrepreneurship is the right path for you right now. You need to get clear. Fierce Clarity will help you, will give you the strategy and direction you're seeking to bring your business ideas to life, whether it's zeroing in on your profitability or moving forward with confidence in your purpose. Fierce Clarity will help you move out of the space and inaction decisiveness. So I'm actually on a business education page where she shares multiple courses that she has owned, right? And if I were to click here to learn more, I go to Teachable, to Fierce Clarity, right? She has a lot of the same stuff, but this is like the moment at which you're in a person's head and you go, hey, that's awesome, and I have a solution for you, right? She nails the problem there. I'm on this page too because she has some other courses like here. Do you have a business but have yet to earn consistent income? 1K in 1 day is an online academy specifically created to help you have a path that leads to $1,000 months and days. Developed exclusively for Rich Friends, which is her community, looking to launch, grow, and optimize their business strategy. So again, asking and starting with a question. Hey, are you somebody who lacks clarity or is all over the place? Great, this is for you. Are you somebody who already has a business, but you've been struggling to generate income? Okay, this is for you. Open access program. Okay, so this is more higher level. So what's nice about Nicole and her stuff is she has sort of an ascension ladder, right? She has stuff for her beginners who are just not as focused and need clarity. Great, you get into that, you start a business, awesome. Now, next step. My Earn 1K in 1 day program. Okay, great. You got that. You have a business, but you want to have more income more consistently. Great. Let me help you there. Then her higher level upper echelon program, which could work there too. And it's great when you have multiple courses or multiple offerings. Not all these things are courses. In fact, some of them are more higher level, high touch point things, but you have now an ascension ladder and you can keep that journey going. And your best customers are your existing customers. If you're just starting out, focus on the one product that you know that people should enter in first, and then how might you follow up with them later to offer step 2. And step 2 might be a free thing, it might be a premium thing, it might be another example or a 201 course similar to what they just gotten involved with. Okay, here's Powerup Podcasting. And I get very clear on what this is, a step-by-step course to launch a successful podcast that gets found and grows your online brand. And there's a video here as well. And there's a super chat that just came in from Rafal, so I'm going to remove that. Thank you. I'm actually going to turn off the super chats 1 second. I think I turned it off. Cool. So there's a little video here, which is often very smart.
Podcasting is a huge opportunity for all of us content creators right now. And whether you are just starting out your brand in business or you have a brand that you want to scale.
So very important there, and I made sure to start with that because I wanted people to know this is for them, right? So I was able to cast a wide net there, and I think that's really important to do. If you know that you have a general solution that'll work for multiple sides, you need to really speak to both and capture that net really quickly, right? So hey, if you're starting out in business and you have no audience, you can use a podcast. If you have a business and you want to scale it, you can use a podcast. So that keeps people going, okay, well, I guess I fit one of those things. And of course you do, because you're either one or the other. And if you're not, then you're probably not suitable for this page anyway. Anyway, let's keep going here. And here we go. So you'd like to start a podcast. Awesome. Starting a podcast is one of the best ways to build an audience and grow your business, even from scratch. So again, casting a wider net there in case people don't want to watch that video. But the process for getting started can feel daunting. What equipment should you use? How do you land interviews with big name guests? How do you get your show loaded onto Apple Podcasts? And even after your show goes live, how are you going to make sure people find it? So I'm addressing questions that people have literally asked me too, so I'm in their heads. I'm going to help you cut through the confusion to not only learn how to properly plan and launch your podcast, but make sure it gets found too. And this is very important for me specifically in this space because there's a lot of other amazing people who teach podcasting too. My special sauce in the podcasting space is getting found, growing your show, building an audience, even from scratch. For example, I was able to help a person. Her name is Sophie Walker, who started from scratch, no email list, no following, nothing. She now has over 4 million views, and her podcast is now actually required education listening in Australia. She's gotten to number 1 in several categories, etc., even starting from scratch, right? And I use that story quite often, even here on the sales page. And then finally, introducing Powerup Podcasting. I'll walk you step by step through the entire process of launching a great podcast with high-quality videos that aren't too long, and examples along the way. You'll have your new podcast up and running in no time, so you can start growing and delighting your audience. Your audience is waiting to hear from you, right? So there's a little bit of the amplification there. Hey, your audience is there waiting for you. Every moment that you wait and don't start a podcast, you are actually not allowing yourself to connect with them and even help them, right? And then now an introduction to me here with a little bit more about my qualifications, having 5 podcasts and having done this since 2010, etc. More about the course and what you'll learn exactly, who's this course for, and then testimonials, right? Dr. B, who's over 60 and was still able to do it.
Hi, my name is Dr. Shannon Irvin, and I have a podcast called Epic Success with Dr. Shannon Irvin, all thanks to Pat Flynn and his podcast course. You guys, this course is amazing. If you've been thinking about doing a podcast, you have to have this course. I had been thinking about, like, how can I serve other entrepreneurs? I'm a mentor. I have my own business, has been an entrepreneur for...
So the way that this was a beautiful testimonial from Shannon. And the way that I set this up is I said, don't tell me why the course is awesome. I want you to talk to the person who is on the fence thinking about whether or not they should get involved in this course or not. That's a beautiful question to set up a great testimonial, because essentially you position the person who has had success through you to talk to somebody who is literally there on the sales page, right? Versus just telling you what you want to hear. They're talking directly to the person on the other end, which is really key. And then we got more testimonials, more videos. For example, stop overthinking it. Doesn't have to be hard. Course curriculum. And also pay attention to the course lessons here. The lessons aren't very long. I think people will go and see, okay, well, what's the experience going to be like going through this course? Okay, a 1-minute video, 5, 7, 3. There's a big one here for your show details, but then 11, 6, 2. Okay, this is very doable. I can do this, right? Answering more questions, more testimonials, and then getting started here. Now, another thing that I think is really important, and finally, let's do one more example, because I want to get into your guys' stuff here really quick, but this is probably the best example of a sales page from Ramit Sethi. He is the king of copywriting and sales pages and offerings and emails and all the things, right? So this is about helping people find their dream job. What would it mean to find your dream job this year? Even that alone has you start thinking about what it's like now versus what it could be like, and within a certain time period too. Don't waste another day at your job that you don't like, that doesn't pay you what you're worth, or that's holding you back. He just has this way of really cutting through the noise and getting right deep into the emotions and the reasons why a person might want this, right? And now you see next, the secret to find your dream job. You keep going because you're like, what is the secret? I want to know, right? Isn't it interesting that when we're in college, we have these amazing dreams about what we want our first job to be. Then we graduate and take a job doing grunt work while getting paid a quarter of what we thought we deserved. So again, getting into the heads of people, right? So then he just goes, okay, and by the way, this is where we introduce Find Your Dream Job, a course that does X, Y, and Z, and more testimonials, even like social proof from social media. Those go a very long way. So even if you had a quick thank you or testimonial from somebody on social media, it goes a very long way. He goes into the course and what it is. They can do it. You can do it too. Now, what's really cool about that is he also does a lot of things related to objections here on this page too. Let me read some to you that I pulled out for you. So when you start uncovering the objections that people have, you can really do some fun things with it. For example, an objection that people have related to their dream jobs is related to interview questions. So he says on his sales page here, he says literally, instead of fumbling around through tough questions, you'll always know the exact words they're saying, because that's an objection people have. Well, I'm not very good at interviews. I can't get my dream job because I always am terrible at those interviews. He goes, well, instead of fumbling through tough interview questions, you'll always know the exact words to say and how to say them, right? You'll learn deep learning strategies for creating perfect, genuine answers, etc. Right? Or instead of having to take whatever you get, So a lot of people in a job go, well, I feel like I just have to take these offers, even though it's not the work I want to do. Those opportunities are there, so I want to take them. So he addresses that head on and says, instead of having to take whatever you want, you'll learn how to negotiate better offers and start bidding wars, right? Instead of just trying harder, you'll crack the code behind your psychological barriers and unlock your potential. So really getting into the heads of those who are there. Okay, so let's get into this. I want you to sell me. So what I want you to do is, if in the chat, in fact, give me a moment here while I sidecar my iPad, so that way I can move things over. So sidecar, and what that means is I'm essentially going to be moving the conversation from this laptop onto here so I can still read the comments and see these things through. So I'm going to select device, iPad. Let me put on some music here. No, that's going to put you to sleep. Okay, we are sidecarring. 1 sec. I'm just going to move things over. So sidecar. Where'd you go? Come on, sidecar. It's not working. Okay, we'll try one more time. I think because I had the iPad locked, it wasn't working. There we go. It is working now. Okay, so we got that. I want to pull up all you guys. And that's going to be at patflynn.com/theincomestream. Okay. Pop out the chat. Okay, so you could do me a favor. Put in a link to your sales page for whatever your product is into the chat. And it likely won't show, but I might see it still because YouTube doesn't want to just have a whole bunch of spam links on here. It's going to seem like that. But I will go through as many of them as possible, and I'm just going to get you. I'm just going to get through as many as we can, and then I'm going to pull them up here and get through them. We might go over the hour because I want to make sure I provide value and deliver for you guys. So here we go. And by the way, wouldn't it make sense to have a sales page link that's easy to go to? Now, your sales page link might be very long. It might be something that is not easily memorized. However, if you're selling something, wouldn't it make sense to have something like a shortcut to get there? For example, poweruppodcasting.com that redirects to the teachable sales page. So what if you were in a conversation with somebody or a guest on another person's show? In addition to having a link on the show notes page, for example, you can just say, hey, just go to poweruppodcasting.com. And that could be very, very simple for them to get through. Okay. Let me write down a few more just so I can have them. Okay, this should be good, says Dole Whip Dad. Is Sidecar a specific program? No, it's built into the latest iOS and allows you to plug in your iPad and use as a second screen, essentially. All right, we got I'm just writing down a few more because it will sometimes be missed. Put on the music again. I promise I will have a better way to sort of capture these things in the future, I promise. Okay. Let's see. One more. I'm rather intimidated, says Sarah. Yeah, no worries. We've never done this before. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with Can Do Math word problem support for teachers. Now, by the way, the teacher industry is huge, although it is getting hit pretty hard right now because of the virus, and there's a lot of things happening. However, there are places like Teachers Pay Teachers, right? TPT, that are amazing at helping support teachers. And there's a lot of teachers, in fact, that are making more money doing that and supporting other teachers than their own teaching jobs, which is really interesting. Now, first impression. This does not look like a sales page. And in fact, there's a lot of things in here where it may just, in terms of how it looks, push people away. Now, it doesn't have to be super fancy like these other ones that we showed, but there is something to be said for the parts that you want people to see in the order that you want them to see in. And what I'm worried about is there's a lot of empty space up here that's not being used, and there's a lot of things here on the right-hand side that aren't necessarily about the thing that you're promoting, I would assume. So this is the thing we're promoting, math word problems with answers, right? And currently available, Pythagorean theorem, ratios and proportions. I'm wondering where this takes me. So add to cart. Okay, so this essentially is the sales page here instead of, this is almost like the marketplace, right? So let's just go over this really quick. Math word problems with answers. Looking for original math word problems with answers, you're in the right place. The purpose of my worksheets is twofold. Number one, to make teachers and parents' lives easier. Two, to strengthen students' problem-solving muscles. Okay, so we don't necessarily have to go deep into, because it's very, very clear who this is for and what it is that you're offering, right? We don't need a story behind this. We don't need, this is worksheets, right? People are getting worksheets. I will say, however, that the one thing I'm looking for as somebody who's coming here potentially buying worksheets is I want to know or get a feel for what this is like and what this looks like, right? So might you be able to share an example or perhaps a PDF file with a bunch of blurred out things that are the word problems, and it might say 10 pages or 20 word problems or what have you, right? I think that's really important. So for example, you're trying to explain a lot of things here I can see to demonstrate, but as a teacher or as a parent, I want to know what you mean by this, right? So some questions are ambiguously worded, making it impossible to know what they're asking, right? So this is this is the before, right? So this is before, and then you show something that's different, right? So it might be interesting to actually have clear, specific bad word problems, and then your version of a good word problem that takes the same thing. So a person could go, oh, this person who's on this page, there you are there. And do you have your name on here too? I love that you have this photo on here, and it's quite big. And in fact, you could essentially shrink it and maybe have text wrap around it so we can get into more things a lot quicker. But again, okay, first impression, like on a sales page where you're selling something, remove all other options, right? This is essentially a squeeze page, as it's sometimes called in the online business space. And the purpose of a squeeze page is we want to have people squeezed in to do the one thing and one thing only, right? That's for email if you're kind of building your email list, and also for selling things. We want people to do nothing other than buy the thing or leave. We're giving them too many options, right? Because what if we go, okay, well, I'm going to go to About. And unfortunately, when I go to About, I'm taken away from the page where I could potentially buy something, right? So we want to have our sales pages be very, very clear. And I think that we could do a better job of structuring this page for what it is that you're serving them with. And again, an image to support that. Here are the worksheets. You get how many of them, and they get perhaps instantly delivered. So with master's degree, so you have a little bit of yourself there, which is great. Save time and avoid frustration by investing in high quality practice sheets. I'm always creating new content, so if you have any requests, feel free to contact me. And again, I don't have any sense of what this looks like. So maybe if I go to this ratio page, so see, you do have specific examples here, right? Which is cool. $2.99. Yeah, for something that's $2.99, it's like, give me the thing and show me that this is exactly what I need, and let's get out. We don't need to get all fluffy with everything, right? So I think that's really key. I would go to very, very popular things on Teachers Pay Teachers and see what's working best for them, and essentially see the language that they're using to make sure people understand what they're getting, right? But again, I want to see a little bit more of what I'm going to get before I get it, and have no other option other than get that thing or get out. And again, I think it's just a structure of the page most of all. I'm a little bit curious about the images here and how they play a role. Images are really key because they can help support and help create a feeling of emotion related to what it is that you're selling. However, they can distract. And in fact, a lot of times, especially when formatting is not correct, the images can take away because they just take up so much space. And a person might go, well, why is that there? And any sort of moment where a person stops as you are giving them what they need, it's a moment for them to have to need to know why they need to re-engage and get back into it, right? Okay, so that's just some quick things. I think we can do a better job of having the thing, like have it be all about selling that thing and having it be easy to click. I would have the add to cart button so much bigger, have a little bit more information, maybe about a guarantee, and testimonials as well. I'm missing testimonials. I'm missing proof that this actually works. Okay, let's try another web page here. Okay, this, I don't know, is not coming through. Let's try one more thing. Okay, oh no, okay. Okay, let's try this, and, okay, agree. Okay, here's a sales page here for Sue, Makers MBA. So I'm curious, this is a sales page for Makers MBA, and I see that there's two options here. I'm starting my business, I have an established business. Now, one thing about sales pages that's really key is to write words as if you were talking. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, we tend to consider these sales pages that they have to be very professional, so we have to speak a different way. But in fact, it works to your favor if you can speak in the same language that you would speak to your audience, right? So for Sue, for you, for example, would you say that I have an established business is how you would talk to somebody? Like when you talk to them in person, is that what you would say? Or is your style more, and I don't know what's true or not for you, but for example, it might be, I'm just starting out and don't know what to do, or I already have a business, but I want more results, or, you know, different things like that. Like, I'm starting a business, I have an established business. I don't know if maybe people might not know how to define an established business, or I already have a business, maybe a little bit better, but I'm curious to know what happens when I click on these things. So I'm starting a business. So business development program for gifters, bakers, crafters, makers, current's closed. Yes, add me to the wait list. Okay. Well, what if I have an established business? Is your handmade product? Okay, so essentially this just tells me you're using this method here on the MBA page of having to click one or the other to better speak to me, right? And I like that. However, it is one additional step, right? It is one additional step. Might you be able to segment your audience on your email list or on your website first and then direct me based on where they're coming from to the right page, because then I won't have to have a decision-making point and potentially talk myself out of it, right? What if I just started my business last week, but I don't feel like I have an established business? Then I don't know necessarily which one's for me, and then I'm kind of going to be out, right? But anyway, let's read some of this, because and again, I can't go full into this because it's literally like add me to the wait list. I think that you should still have your sales page up as if it was being sold, just like we saw with Benny, and then you can add me to the waitlist too, because you don't have a lot of words here to convince me, or proof, or testimonials, or even like an introduction of what this course is and what's inside, or what this program is like, for me to be convinced to put my name on a waitlist, right? This is the same as paying for something. You're still needing to sell people into a waitlist, and right now you've sort of taken away everything for me to be convinced, but you're trying to get me to get into a waitlist. Now, you might be still converting some people, but you can convert people a lot more if you had your full-on sales page here, if that makes sense. That's not the page I wanted you to review. Is it not? MBA, Makers MBA? Is that not the page that you shared earlier? Anyway, is it? Can you tell me what to do, Sue, in terms of where you want me to go? Can you pop it in one more time? And I'll see if I can find that for you. But even if you're collecting waitlists, that's a big thing there. Let's see. Oh no, still great feedback though. Got burnt out. Spent the last week recovering with games, says Janelle. All right, Sue. Makers-MBA. Okay, here we go. Now, for whatever reason, if I just typed it in without the caps, it wasn't working. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, if you're a passionate creator of handmade or hand-baked items and want to get your product out into the world and make money doing it, then you probably already know there's an opportunity for you out there. Let's get your business started. Introducing Makers MBA. So this is likely for those who are just getting started, who don't have, quote unquote, an established business, but you know that they're interested in getting started, right? By the way, first thing I just noticed, closes March 31st. It's May. I'm out because I'm like, okay, I'm done. So you got to be careful about dates. Dates are really key on sales pages for driving sales because you can have some scarcity, sign up by this date. But if the date's passed, like I'm like, okay, well, is this person even, going into this and is helping or is even updating anything? I don't know what's going on, right? So let's get your business started. Introducing Makers MBA. Okay, so I like that you have images here because they show me a little bit more about who it is that you're talking to. They're so small though that I can't get deep into it and I'm not quite sure exactly what you're doing here to help these people, right? So I would prefer to see larger images that might say this item made this much money on Etsy. This item made $400 in April on this platform, right? Speak to directly what the end result is. I worry about people coming to this page and being confused about, well, are you just helping me make my crafts better or are you actually helping me start a business, right? I think some really quick testimonials as opposed to just images of nice crafts, which may or may not be yours. I don't know if these are stock images or yours, but if you had examples from your own students, that would be so much more powerful, Sue. For example, you have a student who created something and is willing to share how many they sold in a particular month, or perhaps how much money they made in a particular month or in a particular year. You show that item, and you could even have a testimonial that says, Sue helped me sell 1,000 of these on Etsy in 2019, right? That could be pretty amazing. I think that could work really, really well. So anything that you do on the page should have a purpose to help convince a person on the other end that this is for them, right? So does this array of images help people understand that this is what they're going to get? To me, it does not, so we can refurbish that, and I gave you an idea on the kinds of images that you can do and use. If you're a passionate creator of handmade or hand-baked items and want to get your product out into the world and make money doing it, then you probably already know there's opportunity out there for you. Let's get your business started. Okay, I would rate that like a B. That's not bad. You're speaking directly to who it is that you're serving, a passionate creator of handmade or hand-baked items, and you're offering what the end result is. Great. That's awesome. I think that goes a long way. You could tie in a little bit more about what starting a business can do for them, right? Just to paint a picture a little bit more about the future, right? Not just starting a business, but why would they want to start a business, right? Perhaps so that you can earn a little bit more side income, or like some of my students, make this their full-time gig. Whatever the case may be, I want to help you get started. And then hopefully you get into a little bit of why perhaps it's hard to get started, and then what you do to make it more simple. So you've seen other creators start online. Okay, so I probably can assume that the date is not the right date because you are actually building a wait list right now and nobody's seeing this. So we're getting this ready for the future, right? And so hopefully that'll change later. You've seen other creators start businesses and it's got you thinking, why not me? I bet you've had confirmation of the value of your products too. Friends and family have told you how fabulous your products are and that you should be selling them. And when you look at others in your field, you know that style and quality is just as good, if not better, right? That's a little secret. You may have also heard that the popularity of handmade continues to grow overall. Etsy sales tripled in the last 5 years. So this is a really good sense of proof, right? So there's two different kinds of proof here. When it comes to proof for selling your product, for all of you, there's two different ways to do it. There's a logical way to do it, and there's the emotional way to do it. You should cover both, and Sue did a great job of covering both here. I love that she did this, although if you had a little bit more proof here, for example, even like a graph, for example, to show people like, here's how much it's grown, right? That could help take that to the next level. But she did the emotional part here when she said, you've seen other creators start businesses and it's got you thinking, why not me? It's very emotional, right? Somebody who's very emotionally driven in terms of making a decision is going to go, yeah, that's exactly right. But then you have the logical person who goes, well, okay, logically speaking, like, why is this something I should do, right? Oh, okay, it seems like there's a trend. I want to jump in on this trend. I put A and B together. Yes, that absolutely and obviously makes sense to me, right? Now, things to consider. And again, these images, I don't know how they are or are not helping you. Things to consider. I think we could change things to consider to like what kinds of things to consider. Like why, like, okay, let me read down. Okay,
instead of saying things to consider here, we need to give people a headline that makes them want to keep going, right? Like what Ramit said, the secret to landing your dream job. I want to know. I'm going to keep scrolling down. So here you can say 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be 4 life-changing reasons to start a business using your craft, right? Almost like a blog post. 4 life-changing reasons, and 3 or 5 is better than 4. Just kind of studies show those odd numbers work better, but maybe you can add one more or remove one. But 4 reasons or 4 life-changing reasons to start a business using your craft. Number 1, add freedom and flexibility. Correct that spelling there. To your days. Experience the pride of seeing others enjoy your products. Make money doing what you already love. Earn a part of your full-time salary. That's great. Okay, and then again, headline, starting my own business, exciting, but how do I do it right? Again, these headlines could be a little bit more honed in on exactly who your audience is and what they want. So I would just tie it. This is the objections, right? So hey, you might have tried to do this, or you might consider you might get stuck, and here's a little bit of education on that, right? Which I like how you're showing it. Hey, look, 4 reasons why maker businesses shut down. Look, you did it here, right? And I don't think you need the 1, 2, 3, 4s here. This is, do these serve any purpose, right? I don't think so. Oh, I see what you're doing here. There's like a bow, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think that's necessary. Okay, let's keep reading. Have you give, so, okay, let's say I already want in, right? But let's go down, and I'm reading this. It goes quite a long while before you give me another call to action, right? I haven't yet seen another button in a very long time. You want to sprinkle a couple buttons throughout, right? And you have bonuses in here too, which is great. So a little bit of scarcity, again, with the date. Okay, then the payments. Perfect for you if. Meet Sue, you're down here, still thinking. Cool. Okay, not bad. I would rate this probably a B or B minus. And again, I have high expectations from y'all, but I want you to improve as well. Let's see. What else could I comment on? Yeah, the above the fold stuff is not as strong as the stuff that I see below the fold. So we need to work on everything above the fold. I mean, look at how much space is just wasted on the left-hand side and right-hand side. The logo is so big. That's the least important thing here. The most important thing is we need a connection. And in fact, I'd love to see some proof of people who are doing this too from you. And also, I think you could show up here as well, a little bit of your story. I don't know your story necessarily, but I think that you can add a little bit more connection. How can you, Sue, connect to the people on this other end much faster? So I see a picture of you here, and it might be as simple as saying, like, if you're anything like me, I've bet you've had confirmation of value of your products too. And again, is that how you would speak to this about it? Is that how you talk to people about it? I know that you've written, and I know what that makes sense. I bet you've had confirmation of the value your products have too. Versus, and I bet other people have told you you should probably sell your stuff online. Or you've probably wondered what it might be like to sell your own products and make money doing it too, right? Versus a lot of this more professional language that you're using at the same time too. So a connection up front, I think, could go a very, very long way. And this is where we have the one thing that nobody else has, and that's our own experiences, our own 100% advantage of just being us. And so I think, although I like that I saw a little bit more about you down below, I think we can go a little bit higher with that and make that connection up front. I do this in Powerup Podcasting, where I go, hey, if you're anything like me, you know that starting a podcast is very important, but don't do what I did and wait 1.5 years to get it started. In fact, this course will help you get a podcast up and running within 2 weeks if you go through it. And in fact, we've had students go through it even faster. And then I go, however, I wouldn't recommend going that fast, because in addition to helping you start your course or start your podcast, I also give you my secret sauce, how to get your podcast found too. And it takes a little bit of time to build hype and excitement, to build an email list and other things I'll teach you how to do in the course, so that we can have the biggest launch possible for that big day when you launch your show. And again, painting the picture of the future for the people all along the way. And so I'm curious, and I'm not going to go into this right now because I want to get into a few more here, but I'm curious to know how we are painting the picture for the future, right? And specifically with, Sue, your industry, helping people realize that when they have a business
all these things open up and what that might be like after that, right? So there's a lot of stuff here about the fear of starting a business and missing critical steps. But getting back into what life is like afterwards would be great. And I don't see you coming back to that head on. You start with it, what it would be like to start a business, but then you go right into the reasons why people don't start a lot of that stuff, course material, and then you get back into the payments. I want to okay, there's a little bit here. I'm so passionate about this and truly want to see you start a business that enriches your life. That's good, but it's very you-centric, like what this means for you. I think that we need to position it as like this: provide for your family, pave the way for the future. Let's hone in on that a little bit more. Cool. Good stuff. Let's go to another page that I picked up earlier. Let's see if I can find this. All right. I need a better way of capturing these because yeah, it's not coming through. Okay. Give me your websites again, and we'll pop them in there. We're going to go a little bit longer today because I want to make sure I provide value for you guys. But I want to go to simply just a store. And we're here at Hey Archer's store, which sells merch. Now, merch is a little bit different than selling a product or a digital product or an online course or program or a service. Merch is definitely about the thing that it is that you are selling. So the best way to sell merch is to show people using it or having it or wearing it and that sort of stuff, besides just like the picture of the thing itself. So whenever you can provide context of how people are using that item, it always works so much better. The Switch Pod, for example, if we just sold a Switch Pod with a picture like that, it wouldn't work out very well. But when we show pictures that contrast this, and better yet, an image or a GIF or a video that does that, I mean, this thing sells itself, right? So this is a physical product. Now, merch is a little bit different too because it's more about the brand, right? So we're here at Hey Archer's website. Thank you, @Reef, for the donation. And he's just got this store up and running like literally last week, which is really cool. Welcome to the Hey Archer store. Thank you so much for stopping by. Feel free to look around and pick up some amazing merchandise. That blue button to the bottom right is your cart. More to come. Okay, so first of all, when you say that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go look for that blue button. If it's not there, I'm out, right? And I don't see the blue button, just FYI. And again, you see the merch here, not affiliate, nerd affiliated, like people wearing it, and this is pretty cool. And I know this is people like, you know, on stock images and stuff where you could just display your logo on there, which is pretty cool. But I think that like people come to you for you, right? And I think a lot of people who have personalities, they don't, and you like, not like a personality, everybody has a personality, but you have a show, you have a live stream where people are coming to the store because of you, because of your live stream, because of your YouTube videos, because of the connection to you. And then you're missing here, right? It's like, hey, get my stuff, versus like you should be holding this mug and looking nerdy with all your stuff behind you in the format, or seeing that people are used to seeing you. Or maybe it's like a top-down view of your desk and all the items, right? Instead, maybe just at the top to provide context and to show that it's real and to show that you have these things. And then below are the more Shopify style sort of array of the images there. But again, like you should show up here. Your face should be here, being like, "Yo, welcome to Heritage Store, Nerds Unite," and you know, look around. Thank you for supporting the show. And I would mention that here too, because that's why people are getting your merch, to support you and to support the show. So just keep that in mind. Excuse me. Okay, let's check something else out. Okay, here we go. PhysicsLab.teachable.com mini course, kinematics. Learning physics. This video-based course explains physics in a way that's easy to understand, so you'll be ready for your next homework or exam. Okay, so kinematics, learning physics. This video-based course explains physics in a way that's easy to understand, so you'll be ready for your next homework or exam. So very clear, which is great. I love that. Hey there, welcome to Physics Lab. Having a hard time learning physics or sitting through lectures, it's not just you. I like how you're like, okay, well, you're not alone here. That's good. Whether you're just looking for extra help with physics or just want another resource to strengthen your grasp for some concepts, Physics Lab has you covered. And these images. Now, these images could potentially, I don't know, they're not clear, but they also do a good job of looking like, okay, things that are normally complicated are very simple. That's the whole purpose of this, right? To show people the kinds of things they're going to get. But because I can't read this, I'm almost a little intimidated by this because there's a lot of equations, there's a lot of things there. Perhaps you might be better off by showing the example of what you're just promising here. You are promising taking these complicated things that are long and boring and making them easy, right? So what I would do is I would have a picture that contrasts boring lecture, bullet points, like the things people are mostly familiar with about a particular topic within this, kinematics, and then an example of a slide where you can just easily, like I would give away one of the slides for free, essentially, showing and contrasting the hard, boring, long way, the easy way we teach and learn, right? So then it goes, whoa, that's what I have and I'm used to. I want this, right? So I think, and thank you, Sue. I got your super chat. I appreciate you. So hopefully that makes sense, Chris, in terms of the contrast, right? And no, I can't click on these images to see the big version, which definitely would help, Bernard asked. And so, Chris, hopefully that's some good feedback for you. In this mini course, get an introduction to physics, cover the must-know basics, things that you'll use in every physics problem, learn kinematics, the concepts and equations for studying motion, plus you get an equation sheet and reference sheet to use when doing homework or studying for a test. This free mini course gives you a chance to check out Physics Lab if you're thinking about enrolling in the full course, Physics 1 Mechanics, coming soon. Okay, I wouldn't even worry about that right now. I would remove that because we want to have people focus on and worry about the thing that they are looking at and the thing that's in front of them right now. Course curriculum. Okay, cool. I could see that. That's good. Here's how we'll approach physics, understand concepts, know how to use equations, work through problems. For each section, we'll start by learning the concepts and making sure, okay, so this is about the what. This is really neat. So for people who are doing worksheets, I think we did one earlier for a teacher. This is what I'm talking about. Like, you don't necessarily have to show everything, but especially for people who want to buy the worksheets, we want to see examples or get a sense of like a tangible thing, even though it's digital, of what we are buying. Equation sheet, reference sheet. So this is a free course, right? To get access and essentially have you get their email address, which is really cool. Now this is pretty cool. I like how you mentioned like physics was my favorite class, but I started to realize how boring and confusing and overwhelming the class can be. By the end of college, I was hired to lead physics session for students, etc. And you're doing more. Okay, that's great. So enroll in the course for free. Because it's free, I think you have multiple opportunities here to add a button, right? It took me a while through all this to get here for free and be reminded that it was for free. Hey there, welcome to Physics Lab. Having a hard time learning physics or sitting through lectures? It's not just you. Whether you're looking to get extra help with physics or just want another resource to strengthen your grasp. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we can do is go, hey, here's the long, boring thing that you're used to. Here's the new way to do it. Get it now. Like that alone might sell people into it, which I really like. So the page looks really good. This is built on Teachable, which is not often the easiest thing to customize, but I really like that. And here's what I want to focus on. So you'll be ready for your next homework or exam. I do not have a sense of how quickly I can learn these things. I think if we can help people determine that essentially overnight, they can be strides ahead than where they were before, right? What was life like before, like contrast in that image, but in your text as well, and what's life like afterwards? You'll have these tools, worksheets and toolkits in front of you to help make things easier. How much time can be reduced, I think could be a potential thing. Now, you don't have to necessarily guarantee or make any promises, but that's what people want here. They want the time that they're going to save. They want to reduce the overwhelm. And the more that you can focus in on that, especially in and around the call to action. So down here, if I'm scrolling down, like get started now, I think we can be a lot stronger with that, right? Let me help cut the study time in half, if not more for you, by giving you free access to the worksheets and the bundle and everything we talked about above. All you have to do is click the blue link below to enroll in the course for free today, right? And boom, that's it. I think we can get started now. That's weak. We need to get a little bit stronger with getting people into what they're going to do, right? Cool, I like that. Google Forms, yeah, good call, Karma Cashflow. I think that's what I'm going to do eventually. Okay. Let's see here. Is there a button I can push to have the info in my brain? No homework required, right? That's pretty cool. Maybe it's just like with 2 hours. No, I wouldn't say that because it's a long time, right? After enrolling in this course, you'll be able to save hours of homework time and reduce the stress in your studying. What I would also do is look at other people who share study material and look at the language that they're using. That language is going to be absolutely key, right? That language is going to be absolutely key. Qualifying the results that they would get would make the offer more appealing. Correct. Actually, it's a very good idea to provide support in physics. That class is so challenging for many, and indeed it is. But I want to contrast the before and the after as much as possible. Okay, let's see here. Put in, we'll do a couple more. We're going to go a little bit longer today because I want to help you out. I did a little bit more education than I thought I was going to do, but that was really important. And then next week, I'm essentially going to do the weekend the exact same way. Website weekend reviews on Saturday, and then sell me Sundays. And as we do this more and more, I'm going to get definitely more honed in on how we can get into it much sooner, and educating you much faster on these things. And it'll be good recap every single week to do that. And likely I'll continue to add more over time. Okay, really quick here. This is another merch page by Consult the Blind Guy. Get 10% off when you sign up for texts. Okay, so right up front, I didn't even get a chance to see what this was about or any of the material or any of the things here. Asking for text or email. And by the way, it says when you sign up for texts, and then you ask me to put my email. So there's a little bit of a disconnect. I like how you say, I'll pay full price. It's like, you can continue or I'll just pay full price. That's very aggressive, but I mean, I think that's playful and it works okay. However, I did not even get a chance to look around before you asked me. And it seems very like, when you go into a store and people are like, hey, what's up? Can I help you with anything? Like before you even get a chance to look around. And I would like to have that happen maybe 30 seconds in so that that a person who's up there can get access to it. Now, I do see a picture of you here, which is cool. Now, it's not quite sitting in the right spot on the page, but again, and it's a little bit blurry. But what I would do is, I like that you're there because this is a connection to where I know you have people, which is on YouTube. And it's just, your basic merch here, which is really cool. And again, it's just a whole array of different merch, likely from a place like Teespring or something like that. So I'm not going to comment on this too much, but I think some context in terms of how this supports you, because when people come here, they want to support you, right? So a little bit of information about you and how this is helpful and it can support the channel goes a very long way. And in addition to that, perhaps you have a logo that people can be reminded of from where they're coming from. You can pop that on here too. And an image of you works, but I think you can use a better image that would be maybe very welcoming, and maybe even you with one of these t-shirts or you holding one of the mugs, for example, just providing some context for what that is. Cool. Okay, I tried this one earlier and it wasn't working. I'm going to try it again since she typed it in. Okay, here we go. Gritly. This is from Orelli. So a number of things pop out to me. There's a countdown timer, so I'm like, okay, something's happening, right? Which is good because I'm like, okay, I got to make a decision for something. But what is this thing? Gritly Summer Challenge 2020, 30 days to nail one goal, starting June 1st. This starting June 1st, in fact, that could be a lot more contrasty. The white on yellow, although it is standing out because it's highlighted, the white on yellow is very hard to read, right? Starting June 1st, but that's coming up. Calling busy entrepreneurs and creators who are ready to take massive actions on their goal. Here's what you'll get for 30 days. Daily one-on-one follow-up, written voice message text to help you define, break down, and execute on the goal. Access to 1 private chat group and 2 exclusive channels on Telegram. Access to 5-day productivity bootcamp. Scroll down. Okay, so let's just talk about above the fold here really quick. Summer challenge, 30 days to nail one goal. That is pretty cool. So, hey, everybody, let's group together. I'm curious to know what these goals are, and specifically what kinds of goals you want people to come in and do, right? I think some examples would be very, very keen up here, because you can go, okay, well, is my goal just to like answer all my emails? Or what are some examples? I need a connection to the types of goals so I can go and sign up and go, okay, well, that's a goal that I have too, or something similar, or I can imagine something that fits within that realm that I'm gonna get support for. I would worry about people having to land on this page and going, well, I'm not quite sure if this is the right thing for me, right? Which is what everybody's gonna say. So how can you make it a little bit more tangible, right? So that people can go, okay, well, these are the kind of goals that we're talking about. Now, I don't know if you have examples of that below, but when you talk about goals, it's very, very general here, right? So I'd like to see examples, number one. Number two, I'm scrolling down, I'm looking for proof. I'm looking for proof that this thing works. I'm looking for testimonials, and I'm not quite sure what those testimonials, or like, does this work or not, right? I love this image of you and your babies. That's great. Meet your performance coach. Hey there, I'm Aurelia, or entrepreneur and a mom of two after working corporate HR. So a little bit more of your story there, which is great. Cool. I want to see the connection to this goal and the pain that people have had not achieving these goals, right? You have a little quote here, which is cool. This would probably be better off to be a testimonial of having somebody who has gone through this course. A testimonial, or excuse me, a quote. They're very overused. They are very often general. They can be great in supporting things, but much better if you're going to have a quote, have it be a quote from somebody who you've helped or who has worked with you, who's gotten results that they've never gotten before, right? By the way, the design of the page looks really good. I like the way it's formatted. This part stands out to me, right? Why join this challenge? I'm only launching this summer challenge once. 1, progress. Ambition and setting goals are not enough. You need to take massive actions every single day. Having a performance coach to work with you. Okay, so one thing that just came to mind is, what if I don't have the time? Right? So where are the objections here? Okay. How is this different than all the other times I've tried to reach this goal? Where am I going to find the time to reach this goal? You're talking about massive actions. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to find the time to take this massive action. What are some other objections? 30 days every day. How am I going to keep up? So you have to address these questions, and likely you have an audience already who is probably having some questions in their mind about this. So I would ask your social media following, your Instagram followers, hey, I'm running a summer challenge. If you could do me a quick favor, come to this page and sign up. And if you have questions about what this challenge entails, please ask these questions. I will answer them right away for you. And those questions are going to be very significant, because it'll tell you what people are not quite understanding yet before they want to take action, right? What is life like on the other end of this challenge as well? What's the future state here? So they get through this goal, and what will happen? Not only will they achieve this goal, and again, if you could provide context on what kinds of goals these are, I think that would help out so much to go, well, am I starting a business within 30 days? Am I starting a podcast? Am I organizing my email inbox? Like, what kinds of goals are we talking about here within the world of entrepreneurship that it is that you're teaching, right? Maybe the goal is, not working as much. I don't know, whatever the goal might be. What kinds of goals, so that I can go, oh, that fits me. Let's go in. Day 1, what's inside Productivity Bootcamp? So that is something they get access to, right? So it's 30 days to nail one goal. I like the solid container to actually do that. And I think there could be a little bit of a, hey, you've had this goal in your mind for a while, but you've never done it. You haven't completed this goal yet. Why? Because you haven't had what I'm giving access to you. You haven't had accountability. You haven't had a structure. You haven't had a coach take you through this. I think you being the coach, or the high-performing coach here, essentially that's what people are paying for, the accountability, the coach, so that they can have this goal on the other end, something that they haven't gotten before. And we need to really contrast, and I think that's where we want to hone in. This is the whole idea of this challenge. Hey, no more excuses. This is the date where you're going to start the rest of your life, right? I'm going to coach you and hold you accountable, and you'll get access to things and also other people who all together we're going to be achieving our goals. What kinds of goals? Goals like this: writing the first draft of your book, starting that podcast that you wanted to start, whatever the thing may be, cleaning up your email inbox, hiring your first VA. All those kinds of things could be really great. And I just got a screen report that said my screen time was down 13% from last week. Great, that's good. Anyway, hopefully this is helpful. I'm giving away a lot here, and hopefully it's making sense. Let me know if the chat makes sense. In the chat if this all is making sense and is valuable to you. I haven't been paying attention to the chat because I've been so involved in these. Now, again, I'm curious. So there's a purpose for this image, right? The image of and thank you @Reef for the super chat coming in. I appreciate that. But there's a purpose for that image. It's to show that you're a real person, that you're a mom, just like these other people who you are serving too, right? Number 2, it shows that, this is real life. You've been able to do this, achieve some of your goals amidst life being crazy too. So this image speaks really highly, and I absolutely love that. The image of your Instagram, however, I'm not quite sure what the example is there. If it is for the same reason, then you don't need it because you've already done that, meaning family, context, etc. I could imagine this if you had perhaps over 1,000 followers as social proof for, hey, I have a lot of people follow me and I want to help you. 316 followers, and I don't like talking about numbers as like the thing, but if this were a social proof play in terms of how you can help other people with this thing, it's not doing that job. I don't know what the purpose is of this image. It might not need to be there. If, for example, this image was instead somebody else's sort of result after taking a 30-day challenge with you before, or even after going through the boot camp with you, then that would make sense, right? Somebody else, maybe an Instagram story saying like, thanks, Ariely, I was able to do it. Like that, wow, that speaks more highly, right? If that makes sense. Let's scroll down a little bit more. So progress, accountability, communication, video training. Cool. I think, okay, here it is. In this exclusive video training with hands-on cheat sheets assignments, you'll learn in 5 days how to. Now, this is a bonus, right? Or it's like part of it, right? In addition to the accountability and the community and the private training, you'll also get access to my Productivity Bootcamp. Does your bootcamp also come with a price point that's normal, like a normal price point? Like, do you actually sell that elsewhere? If you do, then it might be worth adding the price there. Normally, this price, this is thrown into thrown into the package as well. Cool. Get off the excuse train and register now to 10x your productivity. So that's the first time I've seen like a very specific outcome, right? Not only have you achieved your goals, but you're going to 10x your productivity. So in addition to achieving your goals, essentially you're helping train people how to master goal setting in general, right? Which I haven't really seen much about here, which is really cool. Like, how might I use this and use it later? Is this just about the first 90 days here, or is it about more? The call to action area I would have missed. I think I would have missed this, in fact. Limited spots. So there's a lot of like scarcity here. You got to be careful when it comes to limited spots. You either have to go all in on that and let people know and be very honest about that, or you have to not do it at all. Because what people assume with a digital product or things on the online space is that they're going to be unlimited. Like, why would you limit this? However, on the other hand, if you have legitimate reasons for limiting it, talk about why it's limited. That way, you don't have people make up an excuse in their mind. You're essentially sharing with them what it is that the whole purpose of that is. Limited spots because I can only coach and handhold so many people through this process. There are, make sure you sign up now before these spots go away, right? So now there's a little bit more reason, right? And scarcity involved in that. Cool. And I think this spot here, and this is what I was talking about, it just says limited spots. Okay, but why? And you can position that to actually serve you, because we can only take so many people in the way that this 30-day challenge works. I can only speak to so many people, and I want to offer as much value as I can to every single individual person who signs up, so they get their money's back and tenfold, right? So spots are limited. Make sure you sign up by this date, and if the button up above is still enabled, you still have a chance to get in, right? If not, it'll go away, right? I think this spot, this is the only call to action in this area. This is the only spot. And you're assuming that people know that this is the button to click. You're not giving them a call to action. Click on the button below, or, get off the excuse train and register now by clicking the button below to tell me you're in and boost your 10x productivity, and boost 10x your productivity. Now to boost 10x your productivity. There's a little bit of weird language there. I would say something like, I would pop this get off the excuse train down here, have it stand out, have this be a lot more bold, and maybe have a picture of you in there, like pointing to the button, right? Bringing your face back, showing there's a real person behind here.
click this button so that I can help you achieve your goals and no longer have, so I can help you achieve your goals, 10x your productivity, and something about, the idea that they had, been wanting to do this for a while, but they haven't. I don't know, that it just wasn't coming to me, but this call to action area could be a lot stronger for sure. Your one-time investment for a future of goal-setting success. $198. Yes, I'm in. If I click on this, where does this go? It goes to a checkout. Okay. Again, on the checkout page, we want to see testimonials. We want to see more proof. Does this work? How does it work? What you'll get, work with your coach Ariely to define one goal. Daily one-on-one follow-ups. Access to private group. Cool. One thing that I think could work is if you can help people define these goals. I think this is going to be a big struggle. I don't know if my goal is worth going through the 30 days. Does this make sense? Which is why I kept telling you, Ariel, to have like examples, right? So people can go, okay, that makes sense. I think it would be very interesting if you were to, either in a blog post or a series of blog posts or in a giveaway or on a live stream or somewhere, actually help people en masse define their goals. Because that's essentially the qualifier. When a person understands what their goals are and how much and how important that is, well, they're going to pay and not even worry about the investment if it's that important to them, right? Here's the tools and tricks and strategies in this program, in this bootcamp, in this challenge to help you do that. But if a person isn't sure on their goals, it's going to be very hard for them to know what the investment or return is going to be. If they don't know what their goals are and what the return is on that, it's going to be very difficult, which is why it might be a struggle for you to convince a person to work with you to set these goals versus if you work with multiple people or even people individually for free to help them know what their goals are, that then qualifies them to take advantage of this, right? If that makes sense. So I know that you have that as a part of this, and I think it should still be a part of it so people can go, okay, yep, it's meeting those requirements or following that bill. But I think that that's going, like, not having the goal in mind already is going to detract people from making purchases. So there could be a way for you leading into this to have maybe a mini challenge that leads into the bootcamp, right? So the challenge is a 24-hour goal-setting challenge with your audience, completely free, all publicly done. People can join in, bring their friends in, and you teach them your proprietary strategy for setting a goal. Maybe it even takes like worksheet 1 from all the worksheets that are here in this bootcamp and give that away for free. Have people fill it out, essentially qualify themselves to then be able to get access to this course, right? Because that way it ensures, like, okay, you have this goal, great, go, do the goal. And if this is something you've wanted to do before, you've probably seen it now outlined more than ever and have a bigger reason more than ever to do this. And if you need some help, well, I got you. And maybe because you took part of this challenge, I'm going to give you some special bonuses to go along with this to help ensure your success all the way through, right? If that makes sense. Okay, so we've gone through a lot here. And we've talked about a lot of pages. We've talked about a lot of things that we did see consistently throughout that needed help, but a lot of great things on all the web pages and websites that we went to. Next week, I promise I'm going to have a better defined way of collecting these, perhaps a landing page where you can just pop it in and then I'll see it in a Google form in real time and be able to pop them out and make sure that I can just essentially click on a link instead of literally having to like write these things down on Post-it notes. I apologize, I didn't have that system in place yet, but hopefully this helps. What was the most, for those of you in the room right now, what was the most eye-opening or informational or interesting or eye-catching or the biggest moment that resonated with you? What's the number one thing that you took away from this? I'd love to hear what you all think. And as we do this, I'm going to let you know who I'm going to purchase something from. So I'm going to bring up the page right now of who I think did a really good job and purchased. And in fact, it's funny that I'm doing this because it's actually not something that, and I promise you, I'm not doing this because it's free, but I want to award the prize to physicslab.teachable.com. So Chris, wonderful job on your page. I think for something so dry like physics, no offense, you did a good job of helping people understand the reasons and who is this for, and you did a good job. I think we still need more work on the contrast of what the old boring way was like and what the new way was like. And because this is free, send me an email, pat@patflynn.com. I'm just going to give you a $100 Amazon gift card as a thank you and a reward here today. So I know you don't have your physics lab course. I don't need physics information. In fact, it was actually my worst subject. I wish your course existed in the past for me, but I want to reward you and thank you for everybody being on the chopping block. But send an email, Chris, to pat@patflynn.com. I will pay you $100 to enroll in your course for free. And in fact, I can click on this just to see what happens. I can continue as Pat Flynn. I don't need to get in there, but I'm going to give you $100. Pat@patflynn.com. Congratulations, Chris. That's awesome. We're going to do more reviews next week. Sell me Sundays. And again, I'll have a better process so we can get into them much faster. And I really, really loved this talk today. I also want to reward all of you for being here in doing a random giveaway for a microphone that is being offered from our sponsor today, Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout.com is a podcast hosting provider that's awesome. They make things super easy for you to get your podcast up and running. It's the podcast hosting provider that I recommend in my course, and it's the one that's going to help make it easy for you. And in fact, if you go through my affiliate link, which is smartpassiveincome.com/buzzsprout, not spout, but Buzzsprout, smartpassiveincome.com/buzzsprout, it'll put 33% more time in your plan. And we've partnered with them, and that's at no extra cost to you. So thank you all so much for the super chats. I appreciate you. And we're going to do a giveaway right now. I'm going to take this side camera here. Hopefully it's still working. Maybe not. No, looks like it did. Oh, there it is. Hey guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some music. I'm going to turn this around and you'll see all of your chats there. This is the cursor right here. And I'm going to scroll to the top and scroll down. And whoever it lands on, you're going to get a Samson Q2U microphone. And yes, Chris, you're still qualified to get this even though I chose your stuff. Okay, so here's the cursor right here. And I'm going to scroll down. And wherever we end up, that's who wins the Samson Q2U mic. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Yo, that's cool. That's cool, Ariel. You got doubly hooked up today. So send me an email, Ariel, pat@patflynn.com. I know we reviewed your website, but you also won a microphone from Buzzsprout. And again, I appreciate you all for being here today. This was a lot of fun, and we're going to do it again. We're going to get more efficient with it. And thank you all for being here to be my little test subjects and for putting it out there and for allowing me to review your stuff. And hopefully it helps all of you too. So thanks for all the feedback, everybody. We're going to do Sell Me Sunday next week and have even more fun, do more giveaways. And good luck to y'all. Appreciate you. And as always, Team Flynn for the win. So Chris and Ariel, send an email, pat@patflynn.com to collect your goods. And I'll see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Here, this coming week is platform week. I'll share the schedule with you early on tomorrow in terms of which specific platforms we're going to actually crush and get through every single day. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out on that. And come to this link tomorrow, pat@patflynn.com is my email. patflynn.com/the income stream is where you want to go. Thanks, Team Flynn. You're amazing. Peace out and all the best.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream. All while we keep it clean. This is the income stream.
Yo, Ariel said, "Can I give it away to somebody else?" Yes, you can pick. Let me know who you want to send it to, or pick somebody at random on your end, so I don't have to pick at random anymore. And you could just pick somebody to win the mic. So thank you, Ariel. That's really cool. So go ahead and pick somebody, and thank you so much for that. I'll play some music in the background here while we wait. Yes, platform week. Every day we are going deep into something like YouTube or Instagram or podcasting, blogging, and just essentially starting from scratch. What should you do foundationally? How do you get more advanced with it? How do you grow it? All those kinds of things too. Cool. Yeah, no worries, no worries. If you want to pick somebody now, you can, or you can just send me an email and be like, hey, I want to reward it to somebody. All good. This was a lot of fun. Wow. And I have a whole pile of clothes down there from when I changed earlier. It's so funny. But thank you for being so generous. Anybody else get that song stuck in their head? I get it stuck in my head too. It's pretty crazy. I don't know who needs it. Okay, well, let's give it to Rhino since he was first to ask. How about that? Would that be okay, Relly? Would that be cool? And hopefully you're in the U.S. because that's who we're going to be sending it to. If you're not in the U.S., we'll send you a $60 gift card, but no worries. But let's reward it to Rhino. That works
or Just Samson. I think Just Samson offered one to somebody else earlier, so I think we're good. Anyway, Just Samson, if you want one, email me, pat@patflynn.com. Rhino Dog, email me, pat@patflynn.com, and we'll make it happen, okay? So, hey, there we go. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Team Flynn for the win, and good stuff today. Really, really good stuff. Thanks for being there with me. I appreciate you, and we'll talk soon. Peace out, y'all.